happened, so we have at least something to talk about, you know. So, but
Mhm.
I think the comp game I won, but I can tell you it was close and it wasn't necessarily like my best game I've ever played. You know,
Mm.
so I
Mhm.
think it would be a good one to go over if that's what you want to start with. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with how you want to do this, but
Yeah, as I mentioned, we usually start with a close game, the games where it was maybe difficult for you to apply certain concepts. It's just for now we didn't have any specific goal, as I remember, in the game. Yeah, like what do you need to work on in there exactly.
Mhm.
But we'll take a look. We can identify what you need to work on exactly first. I think
Okay.
the big thing is I think we mentioned your hero pool. Yeah, so it's just been you wanna actively play those heroes: Junkerqueen, Zarya, Winston, and Sigma. So did you
Yeah.
focus on those for the most part?
Yeah, and I was playing it when I did was able to play because the week before, like because I had a little bit of time before all the stuff went on. Um, I played and after you mentioned that, I have realized that my win rate on maps that brawl isn't prioritized. So like let's say Circuit Royale, right? Where Sigma arguably is a really good pick on that map, right? No one really disagrees with that. I struggle so heavily. Like
Mhm.
my win rate outside of those maps are is far exceeds those maps. Like it is a night and day difference when I try to play something that's not Brawl. I'm so like my mindset is so ingrained into Brawl where I'm like, okay, wait for have a checklist in my head. Okay, that's Suzo. Okay, that's Rock. Okay, run in, you know, stuff like that.
Right, right.
And it's like I'm struggling to play like poke meta or poke type tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely the playtime
Hmm.
difference. I think the biggest one for sure. Yeah.
And I've also enjoyed I played a little bit of Winston. I've enjoyed playing Winston as well. He's been my like alt pick lately.
Right. Yeah. I think this is good. Yeah, as we mentioned, this kind of hero pool so far should be pretty decent. Yeah, you can do quite a lot with that. Yes. Oh, you're not just switching between multiple heroes. You focus on one specific direction. This is gonna be much
Mm.
easier. Right. Okay. So this is about hero pool. Now the second thing is playing competitive. How that went, just in terms of the mindset. Yeah, what? Yeah, maybe there something what's
Um,
been difficult to deal with. Yeah, maybe it's just yeah. Tell me your
it's
experience.
like so I it's like especially it feels like right now when I played games before this season, I was kind of like people kind of followed the tank and they kind of like I could play my style and people would kind of follow me around or whatever. But like this season and when I was playing thing, I was like I felt like I was like having to turn around and like see where my team was always because they would go and off and run off. I'm like okay,
Mhm.
and you know I
This
don't
is
know who
common.
said it, but yeah,
Mhm.
and like you know I always have someone told me a thing of a bad idea working together on a bad idea is better than working on 10 different ideas at once, good ideas at once, you know. So I was like okay, then I'll just play with
Yes,
my
true,
team
true,
and try to like do
true.
whatever the heck they're doing. If soldier wants a um, visor on the ground and have no for no rhyme or reason, all right, we'll just play into it, you know, try to give that something value, you know. And that was something I've realized. We can go back over and kind of see I didn't get. I try to watch it, and I realize a few spots where I realized like we'd have to go back at it because I haven't looked at it in a week. But there were one or two instances where I was like sitting there. I was like, okay, what do I do in this situation? You know, like you'll see if this is the match. Hopefully, this is the match. Like where I was. So it was Mercy. Um, so basically, my team was behind me, and I was in the center. Which map is that? Shoot. Excuse me. Let me a second. Let me.
Yeah,
Actually, I
it's
can
okay.
just share my screen.
Yeah, yeah. Take your time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let me deal with permissions first. I think it's not allowing you to. Yeah, now it should be good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can screen share now.
Okay. Um, three plays. Yeah, Oasis. It's
You
just a
have
map.
you have pretty big screen, don't you?
Oh, oh yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. No, I'm just
Uh,
curious.
Yeah,
How big
I
it
have
is?
the Samsung Odyssey G9, which is a 49-inch screen. Oh,
Are you comfortable playing on that screen?
oh yeah, I love the screen. It is great.
When
Um,
when you're looking for all the info, how do you do that? Are you able to? So are you sitting comfortably so you're not moving your head around that much?
no, I think people over exaggerate it. The thing
It's okay.
is
Yeah,
that
I'm
I
just
know.
asking. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it like for you, for example, I've told people that this is a monitor for the hardcore gamers. That even if you went for the standard, what is it, 10 by 16 or whatever
Hmm.
standard ratio, if that's not enough information for you, the extra 3 inches this gives you on each side can help. And I bet you it would help a lot for a lot of
Mm.
people that are high end because it genuinely does. Because it doesn't use competitive games can't go past a certain ratio because then you're can't use the whole screen because then you're getting a huge advantage against others than they would because I could like peek around corners that they couldn't, and stuff like that. But
Mm.
yeah,
Potentially,
it's a
yeah.
really
Sure.
yeah. But you got to remember that this monitor cost me $2,500, so it's like, is it the cost worth the race? But yeah,
Yeah,
one of
it's
those
fine.
situations.
As long as you're comfortable with this, I think this is fine
Yeah,
because I think
yeah, and
all of the settings
go.
and monitors and mouse key is just different for everybody, so it's all good. It's just the tool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It also I can change it. I have it set so it's slightly narrowed, more narrowed than the max narrow situation. Just because if you can see over here, I don't know if it shows on the thing, but you can see that it's black over here.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it's yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
kind of does. Well, yeah. Well, it's just I see. Well, it's catching your entire screen. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't know the spots exactly where it ends, where the block this black ends. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the black side, yeah, that's literally my screen right there. That whole line. So where it's black, where you see on the live stream, is actually what's black on my screen. So
Oh,
it's about
okay.
that wide. Yeah, yeah. It's curved inward, so it doesn't look as um off-putting when you're actually in there.
Yeah,
So
okay. That makes sense.
yeah. So gosh, I don't even know how to aim down. How do you? That's
If
one
you
of the things
want, I
I always
can
struggle.
manage it for you. Just
Yeah,
later.
please do, because I don't know how to work this
Yeah,
dang thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It just depends on
Here, let me.
what do you want to ask. Maybe you can phrase it in the words. We can look at the timestamp. Don't worry.
Absolutely. So, let me share, creating replay code, link code,
Mm-hmm.
copy. Okay. Control V. Okay, I sent you the
Mm-hmm.
code.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and just for you for the future, you can also switch your settings up a little so it's gonna be easier for you. I'm gonna just show you how that looks like so far. When you what review, so I'm screen sharing that. You have
yep,
those settings. Let me just find those. Okay, can you see my screen first of all?
yep, yep. I can see your screen.
Okay, so first of all, you can quickly usually press B, and here you can make your life easier. Deal with this time skip interval. You just place it on 5. Like for me, it's comfortable. For example, so whenever you skip, like doing this move, it's gonna be easier. You're not just skipping 20 seconds suddenly. It's making
Oh,
easier.
okay.
When you move around, you move with your W, A, S, D keys, but to move faster, you just have to press Shift. I press Shift, I
Okay.
move faster. It's like running in Call of Duty, you know? Just
Okay. Yeah.
run
Yeah.
faster
Yeah.
around the map.
Yeah.
For the settings, just advanced something you might use in the future because I think if you're gonna be doing some self-reflection, just kind of what you view in your games might be useful. Going in replay settings and quickly changing the binds on something you're gonna be comfortable with. So see, this is this one replay forward, replay back.
Hmm.
I have it on 1 and 2. For me, it's just
Okay.
more comfortable, so I can quickly do that. You just kind of quickly
Hmm.
jump, yeah, this way or like go back if I want. Yeah, I just do those keys, and you can also potentially switch this, increase playback speed and decrease playback speed. So just I place it on numbers. For you, it might be somewhere else. Depends on
Hmm.
what are you comfortable with? Really good settings. And one more, which I think is important, but for some reason it's in the spectate setting here. You have to look spectate toggle pause, place it on 3. So whenever, let's say I'm just playing your like whoever POV, you're like here, it's playing, I press 3, and the screen freezes. Makes it easier.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe you can switch it up now or just later. Just remember, don't forget,
Okay,
spectate
I'm
here.
trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do that real quick. So,
You can switch it. Yeah.
rules, spectate. Quick,
So one is on spectate toggle pause, and another one is on replay. Other setting. Yeah. All this
3,
others.
and then spectate. What is it?
Spectate is toggle pause right there.
Yep, and then increase toggle. It was, and then what's the replay ones?
The replay ones is this: replay forward, replay back. I usually have them close to each other, so it's easier. You might get used to it as well, I think, this
I
way.
think so. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, I got him. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, you can use that in the future. Okay, what do we wanted to look at? Is there a specific
Okay,
timestamp?
so yeah, so between 4 minutes and I think what was it? I think I died at like was it bookmarks?
Mhm.
I died at 5, so 4 minutes to 5:05. If you go to the centerpiece, like the main battle area,
Yeah.
you'll see me kind of just fighting along. And if you zoom out, you'll see about, I'd say, shoot, probably like 30 minutes before I die. Probably maybe a little bit before that. Let me see. Yeah, my whole team just gets deleted, and I'm kind of just stuck there in the center by myself.
Mhm.
Well, eventually here, get like I'm see how I'm still in the bottom here.
Yeah. I got
Am I
it.
in the? How do I put this? You'll wait here.
Yeah, I see you. The fight, you're gonna lose the fight here most likely. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if this is the right one, I kind of end up being stuck here alone. Am I just kind of just like basically in this whole fight? What can I do better? Like I knew my positioning was bad at this point. I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Okay. All of that makes sense. It's just kind of
Yeah,
the basic
the ult
general.
was bad. Basically, this whole fight, I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, I am just doing everything humanly possibly wrong. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't feel.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Just starting through the replay, I think there are gonna be some general things you can look to do. Well, even we can break down this fight. He just looks like you want to fight for more advantageous spots. I will explain what that means. How
Yeah.
do you do that? Generally speaking, so to put it simply, your team will not die first here because you want to be the one who is initiating the pressure, absorbing all the attention. So yeah, we will go with
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
This was definitely one of the fights that I felt like I did. If there was a fight that I just felt like nothing went right, and I felt like I was just literally like I knew I was getting no value from down here, where I was because everyone was fighting up on the top left.
yeah,
That
exactly.
I was like, do I leave point and try to get with my team? Like, what situation should I have done here to like better,
Mhm.
you know, help? Because I was literally just sitting there on point, like I don't throwing my knife, and not really getting any value.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go with that, sure. Okay. So he's just kind of breaking down the gameplay. Now, what I'm curious about as well is, so this is one thing, yeah, going over the gameplay. Another thing is, what about this mindset, sort of just did you have any difficulties so far, or what you mentioned about competitive so far? It felt kind of comfortable when you've been playing the games. Just
I I felt like I felt like I felt more anxious, and I felt like I was more in quick play I'm relaxed, and like if I make a mistake, I feel like either A, it doesn't turn out okay, or B, I can kind of calmly like make adjustments, and I don't have like it feels like I'm overthinking everything, if that makes sense. I'm like, okay, should I take this way, should I go here, can I play aggressive, am I allowed to play aggressive, and if I fuck up playing aggressive, that means we lose a team fight. Like what's like that kind of situation of like I know as Junker Queen, I need to, especially against their comp, I need to play really aggressive, take out their healers here because both flyers I have to kind of rely pretty heavily on my DPS to take care of them as Junker Queen, and it's like I just kind of I feel very anxious of doing specific things or not playing a correct way is the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was stuck at the the
In the quick play.
objective is
Where?
because yeah, quick play and in this match I was stuck at the objective because I didn't feel confident
Yes.
playing outside of the objective. Like I felt like okay, let me play the run of the mill tank where I'm like I'm on the objective and I'll fight for the objective type situation instead of like playing playing the game, and that's where you can see here that it was very apparent that I was very scared of getting off the objective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there was time, if I remember correctly, I remember thinking in my head, I'm better than this tank. I'm better than I knew it because I just how I was playing. I was like, I'm way more confident than this tank. I just couldn't make confidence in myself to like do other things around the tank. I guess.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe let's start with just gonna break it down a little bit more for us. What do you why do you have this anxiety? Yeah, what is based on? So one thing is just okay. Let's maybe use this board here real quick, so it's gonna help us to like maintain the focus. Okay, so anxiety. One point which you mentioned is whenever you're trying to actively do something, yeah, like anxiety is just might focus on multiple things. Okay, so you mentioned you have to do this, you have to do that. Okay, so let's write it down. Multiple things uh to focus on. Okay,
Hmm.
that is one. Okay, another thing is you kind of mentioned a what if something is not going what if something is not gonna go right? Yeah, what if
Hmm.
something is not gonna go right? Right. So maybe let's kind of think about this. I think second here is a little bit more important.
Hmm.
Why it bothers you if something is not gonna go right? Yeah, what that means for you first of all.
Well, especially in like this last game, like the two games of comp games I played, like the team was kind of like I even like for most like I was being friendly and stuff like that, but a lot of times I know it's common in lower elo to blame the tank every single time, and that's what kind of happened to me. Is that they're like, oh, you need to work with us and stuff like that. I'm like, tell me where to go. I'm willing to work with you. You just got to communicate and stuff like that. So like I even in this game I got flamed and stuff like that. Granted, my supports were super nice, but my DPS were kind of being a little rude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all for working together. I mean, I'm like, and nor does it bother me that like I knew the second I played played Reinhardt. I was a Reinhardt main. I'd never played anything else for a while, so I'm used to getting flamed, so it doesn't really bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the frustration of like, okay, I'm getting flamed, okay, and that's the only feedback you have at of that this game so far of like, okay, and because of my lack of confidence in comp, I don't know if I'm actually doing something wrong. So like, if they're flaming me, maybe they are right. I take constructive criticism and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Like, okay, if I did something wrong, I want to know what I did, but I also know that I shouldn't listen to the plat players, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of flaming me because they want me to be they want me to go Rhine and just be a shield bot the whole time. I don't want to be that.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I know that there is there's a reason that they're flaming me, and I but I couldn't see what I was doing, or like I don't know if it was actually being flamed because I was doing bad, or if I was like doing something right, but they were doing something wrong. Sometimes that's how sometimes goes. Like you do everything right, and then they end up doing something stupid,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then they yell at you for it anyways.
Yeah, okay, so let's fix on that side first. When you get inflamed in the game, that is something what affecting you. Yeah, affects your performance potentially, right? Something what if they say
Mhm.
something, yeah, this is something what might influence your performance in a negative way. Yeah, is it correct?
I mean, I've never felt like I play worse when I'm getting flamed. It just makes me like it kind of goes back on the number one issue. I guess it would make me affect that because then it's one extra thing and I'm focused, like have in back of my head where I could just be more focused on the game. So it just
Yeah,
like it doesn't really affect my gameplay necessarily, but it definitely inhibits it a little bit, I guess,
yeah, exactly.
because it doesn't
Okay.
really bother me that much because
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty hard headed.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still removing focus from the game, and this is reasonable. Yeah, like you mentioned, this is common for any player, especially if they're getting just stepping in the ranked games. I think most of the time. So the question is, if it's removing focus from the game, how do you deal with that? What do you choose to do? What can you do?
Um, well, when I if I'm getting removed focus, I try to like just I try to dial in. I try to like it's tough. It's especially difficult for me. I'm like if let's say it's the last round and we both have 1 point and I'm getting flamed. I don't really have a way to regain focus necessarily. But like, let's say it's the first round, we get beat. I can kind of take a step back, take a breather, because the middle of the round, go back in and go back in. And usually, a lot of those games where I get flamed at the beginning, sometimes those are the games that I actually end up winning because then it kind of, it gives me a slap in the face, and I can kind of sit there, take a moment at the middle of the game, and then go back at it harder on the last 2 rounds. But if I don't have that 30 seconds, I struggle with getting my focus back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right, right, right.
that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
What if you disable the voice chat completely?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I've thought about it, but it's like I felt like that would be like it's really important in comp. I figured of people communicating, and I feel like if people can communicate, like let's say I'm playing a brawler or a dive, I mean,
Right.
communicating a dive and stuff like that, I felt like would be pretty important. Like, hey, I'm going
Sure.
on the hero code in 3, 2, 1, and then people can like pay attention and listen.
Right. Important. Yeah, it's important. However, on our level, let's put it this way. There are two things. Just simplifying, yeah. It's your performance. This is one. Second, communication, maybe other stuff as well, potentially. But what's important for you currently, your performance or communication?
Oh, my performance.
How, okay, so do you see that how this is what you're saying, removing
Yeah.
because it's removing focus from the game, you suddenly not focus on your performance as much, it hinders your performance, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So you want to makes sense in the long term to think about the communication. For now, I wouldn't do that, to be honest. And first off, it's not giving you any big benefits. First off, because you're not paying
Yeah.
attention to your performance. This is one, but it actually might influence you in a negative way as well, because just all these things, well, first of all, you're thinking about a lot, and there's also people who might affect you. Well, it's not necessary for you to like think about that, how to deal with all of that. You can just kind of remove this variable from the practice. Yeah, like you don't have to practice dealing with all of this until you solve your performance. Basically, if I use the numbers analogy, 99% of your value basically comes out of your performance. Maybe for you now, when you step in competitive, just 99 and 9%, yeah, like just all of
Yeah.
this, yeah, like this number here, it's your performance. This is what gives you value. And this
That
other
that totally makes sense.
yeah, so you want to ideally focus on that. Obviously, you look at any potential thing, and even in real life, of course, you can say, oh, what if what if I focus on this and this. I think what's really important is to find the biggest problem you have, this low hanging fruit, yeah, and then just
Yeah, it
address
makes
it, yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so can you is would we agree to just remove the voice chat then, disable the voice
Yeah.
chat? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do
I'll
that.
disable it then, man.
Yeah, so this is good. I think good solution. Right.
Yes. I mean,
Now,
because I think
uh-huh.
until I am, I
Mhm.
play as good as I do, and if I can just take my quick play abilities and put it in comp, I feel like I'd be doing way better off because of just it's like when I got in that comp game, I genuinely felt my skill levels decrease at least tenfold. It was actually insane. Like
Mhm.
I want to show you a quick play game versus a comp game, and it's like you
Mhm.
can kind of even if I'm playing bad, I'm playing poor positioning, poor whatever. I feel like you can tell the comfort of the two is almost night and day. You know,
Yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
mm,
So we just kind of maybe are you comfortable? Are we okay with like going other things which we can potentially solve this uh, getting anxiety in the games?
mhm.
Like, are you fine with that? And, like, let's go with that first. Is it okay? And then we can
Yeah.
go over the game. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. So just like the one event you described is just like when somebody's flaming you. Okay, this is something you can fix through disabling the voice chat now.
Yeah, it just sucks because it's like those like my first two comp games. Like I played four comp games at Tank.
Hmm.
I played two. I won two, lost two, and I think I am. I think I was Diamond five, four,
Hmm.
five. I think is what it projected to be so far.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, the what was I gonna go with that? Yeah,
It's okay.
but stuff like the voice chat was something that helped in one game, and that's about it, because the team kind of communicated pretty well. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. My another question would be, why is that bothering you that something's not gonna go right? Yeah, let's say it did. Let's say like you did all the wrong plays,
hmm
so you're not, like
yeah,
you're not trying to do everything right, but like just intentionally maybe done everything incorrectly. So
mhm.
what's bad about that? Yeah, why is that bothering you?
It's because like well, let's say because it's like how do I put it? Like so, I know positioning as a tank is even more important now in season 9 than it has been even bought previously. So it's like, okay, I'm and hitting my shots down
Mhm.
is even more important. It's I could kind of get away with maybe it's just Junkerqueen alone. I could kind of get away with playing Junkerqueen because like I felt like her hitboxes and stuff like that just hit right with me. I played on. I have 500 hours in Ana, and I
Mhm.
feel like the knife and the sleep dart are like basically the same thing to me. And it made it so I could hit all my shots and stuff like that. But with the new season 9, it's like everything that I was bad at is being amplified because all those things had more importance in tank versus just just running in brawling killing dudes, whereas
Right.
now it's like, oh, you have to kind of get a pick, you have to kind of play it a little bit more like really far into corners, because if you even think about playing like on the edge of a corner, you just explode anyways. It's such a weird experience. I've had an experience where I was literally on a corner and I died while I was on a corner and they didn't have sightlines because they were like my hitbox was just poking out. You have to really kind of go really far,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I don't know if I'm diverging off of the main topic here, but
No, no, no. I think this
um,
is good. Yeah, what you're mentioning so far to just kind of simplify it. There's something like X, Y, Z, and I have to do that even better. So like I have to focus. Let's put it this way. Like A point,
yeah,
I have to focus on X, Y, Z, and what you've been saying before. You're trying to focus on multiple things. So there's like one multiple things to focus on. Focus on X, Y, Z. How do I do all of that? Yeah, like it's giving me anxiety. I'm just getting in a game and
yeah,
there's this and that. Yeah.
it's like I've never been taught how to do it. Like no one teaches you right. I like if you just hop into Overwatch, you just kind of play and you kind of learn. Your bad habits stay hard, and your good habits kind of though that's what just haphazard happens, right? And I feel like in comp, the things I wasn't taught that you not naturally like you just either a just learned or just aren't taught gets exemplified, and multiplied of how bad they really are. Like my positioning, like especially in that game you saw, I was just standing there at the bottom, like I
Mhm.
don't know what I'm here. I'm like, where do I go? What's a good position for me? You know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, so, so,
Or
so, so
in
ho-
my aim, I felt like I was so hyper focused on. That was another. I remember that now. I was
yeah.
so hyper focused on my aim. Like like every missed shot, I felt like in my ether. It's
Right,
brutal. Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is how do you deal with that? So because you get this anxiety, I have to focus on X, Y, Z, right? This is not effective because there are multiple things to work on. How do you narrow it down for yourself? What do you do exactly? What can you do?
Um. Narrow it down. I mean, it's just practice like those learn those things and then practice them so they become second nature versus just
Yeah, but
instead of them being like
right.
forward thoughts, they're in their back of their mind, they're instinctual maybe.
Yeah, sure. But what about the quality? How do you practice though? Can you practice them this way? I have to focus on X, Y, Z at the same time. Is that gonna be possible for you?
Probably not. I probably need to focus on X and then
Yeah.
Y and then Z, and
Yeah.
take what's the most important and then what the niche things later on, you know.
Right. Okay, so if you're
Yeah.
trying to focus on one thing at a time, then how can you approach it to just maybe remind yourself that you're working on something in specific? What can you do in real life maybe as well? Maybe put some notes. Yeah, like what your approach
Yeah.
would be to just remind you what you're doing?
um I would just I would hyper focus on that one thing, you know. When it's not necessary, I just play it because then, like, let's say it's positioning, you know. Let's say I'm really playing and rolling a team, stuff like that. I'll still use correct positioning, even though
Hmm.
in that situation it might not be, the the needed, But it's still playing it and making it so it's second nature to me is would be I think is really important, you know.
Right, right. So our ideas then can be just like around this making sure because you want to make sure you focus on one thing, maybe use specific notes. Yeah, I usually suggest for my students use sticky notes, for example, to remind yourself
I
what
have,
you're practicing on. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I have no I'm got notes next to me, so we're good.
Yeah, for example, but see, this is gonna be more focused notes. Those are just gonna be exactly related to the practice you're doing, and you put it right in front of you. Maybe today you're gonna be saying, "Oh, I'm focusing on my corners potentially. How do I play around those? So maybe dealing with power positions on the map." For example,
Hmm.
yeah, all of that you can put it in front to remind you. Yeah, like this is really
Mm.
important. Okay, so like this is how you
I think
may.
that's
Mhm.
Go ahead. I was well. We're talking about something else, but it's like the corners I feel comfortable on. Actually, the corners are the one thing I
Yeah,
feel good
this
about.
is this is just an example. I'm giving you an
Yeah,
example. You
exactly.
because you're trying to focus on one thing at a time. You use notes for that, and just to remind you what you're gonna be doing next. Does it make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you may solve this, like X, Y, Z. Okay. So you're not
So,
focused on multiple. Mm-hmm.
so what? How do I determine what one thing to focus on? Like let's say,
Yes.
do I focus on positioning first? Do I focus on this? Do I
This is
just
where
like
I come
do we
in
look at
for
my
most of it.
gameplay? Yeah. Do you just come in and be like, okay, these things are okay, not perfect, but okay, but this is
Yes.
really bad, so let's focus on this
Yes.
type of situation?
This is
Okay.
this is where I come in, and I'm just gonna be using all these notes in the doc here. So like in the document, I'm gonna leave you the exact things you need to work on, and here we're gonna break those down today as well. This is how we gonna do stuff. You're just gonna be specifically focusing on those goals, and potentially you can also revisit, just review your own games and see are you doing those correctly. Yeah, can you do something even better to just apply all those goals? I guess does it make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another thing, just what might be important whenever you're practicing, I usually suggest because you want to think, focus on one thing at a time. Let's just kind of mention a game. Yeah, you want to focus on one thing during the game. This makes it easier, and this is kind of a strategy behind it. You can use this is what's called interleaved practice. I usually share it with my students. So how it looks like, it's you're doing the practice, which looks like this. Imagine here, one rectangle, it represents your one game you're practicing. Okay, you're practicing
Mhm.
X, yes, something. The X, it's a concept you're trying to work on, and then later you can move towards the another concept, and then you're moving towards another concept, and this is basically a circle. You do this until you form a habit. Not well, maybe it's not just like strictly the habit which you can do all the time, but at least you want to feel like you do those concepts much better. So it just
Mhm.
makes it easy for you to apply. So see, you kind of repeat the cycle X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. Why it's useful? Because we as humans, we have really limited focus, and because you're switching from one concept every game to another, your attention is going to be high. So like attention is really high compared to the moments when you just maybe practice one concept for a really long time. This is might be not as effective. Yeah, imagine I practice X all the time, X, X, X. Your attention is going to be lower. It's like sitting on a long lecture. It might be difficult eventually to keep the attention on what's going on. Yeah, it's just how our attention works. Your attention might
Yeah,
drop at the end. Yeah.
that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you do it this way, and also what it helps with to put everything in your learns, your memory, so you can form the habit because you're constantly revisiting the concepts. You're not just leaving it be like, oh, I've worked on X, let it be, and then I move to something else and I forget about X forever. This is
Yeah,
this is
yeah, yeah.
this is something you want to work on continuously and just constantly like in a circle revisit those concepts. This is kind of an idea, yeah, and it just depends on you what you want to put in XYZ exactly, but I'm gonna help with that as well. But this is important. Maybe use this. It's called interleave practice. You can use it to your
Okay.
advantage potentially. Yeah. So this is maybe just another note. Use this interleave practice. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So,
this might be
and
helpful.
that's yeah. I'd like to try that because I feel like that would be a good thing. It's just a matter of figuring out what X, Y, and Z is,
Yeah. We'll
and
go
then
with that, don't
I
we?
can, yeah, yeah. That's like because I feel like that would because I have, I'm human. I get bounced around all this stuff all the time with random concepts and stuff like that. And I went to college, so I know the full manner of like working on three different things at once and working on this for 30 minutes, this for 30 minutes, this 30 minutes, back to the first one.
Yeah,
I'm familiar
nice.
with this type of studying.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, it's just to kind of remind us, yeah, so it makes it easy, yeah. Then
Hmm.
just kind of and anything else, yeah, like just thinking about that. So y- because there are multiple things. Okay, this is bothering you. Is there something else? Yeah, maybe it's just like the fear of that you're gonna. There's like kind of common fear of failure in a way. Like, what if I'm gonna do everything like not correct? Is that happening sometimes to you as well, or?
Um, Not really. It's not much fear of failing, because like I know you win games, you lose games, so I never really had a fear of failing. It's more of a um.
But is that happening where what if I don't do this like positioning and then something right? Yeah, like do you
um
get this sometimes or?
Not necessarily. It's more of like a like I'm not like, oh, if I take this position, I'm gonna fail. It's more of a like I go in, I take the positions I think are the best, and then making the best of those situations. Am I making the
Perfect.
best of the situation I'm in currently? You
Mm-hmm.
know, because like sometimes you the game puts you in a situation that you're not quite comfortable with, and if I put my mentality in that way of like, oh, I have to get to this position or I'm gonna lose. I don't think I'd be able to get as far as I would be able to. I think, unless maybe I'm wrong, but you
Yeah.
know.
No. This is fine. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just important to explore this like
Mm,
mindset overall scene. Mm, what
mm,
might influence this anxiety? Yeah, exactly. So we discovered this. Okay, you have to focus on XYZ. Right,
mm,
you putting yourself in the situations, just trying to make the best. This is good. I think it's kind of at this point here. You want to set positive goal, set positive
mm,
goals. Whatever you're working on, you you
mm,
have to get outcome. from it. So it's
Mhm.
not just you cannot focus on wins, you just focus on something. Yeah, like focus on specific idea, specific concept. It doesn't matter what. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like I
focus.
may have lost the game, but I had good position in this game. I may have lost the game, but I had my aim was I had 90% accuracy of the game. Something like that.
Yes, exactly. So you're trying to focus on XYZ, but not every just during the game, yeah, like those all the things, but just one point and see, oh, am I doing this better? If yes, then wins or losses, like win, lose, doesn't matter as much. It's just kind of goal setting, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Is there anything else? Maybe like just or so
Or
getting
mentality.
flamed. Yeah, getting
Oh,
flamed. We dealt with that. Okay, multiple things. This is interleaf practice we can use. Setting positive goals might help.
um,
Obviously. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think the bothering, like I think that's part of the focus thing is just like, is my mechanical skills up to snuff to be, like, like you can feel like the inconsistency. I think is one of the things I talked about previously was like battling inconsistency. It was like going like, man, I just beat a top 500 tank in quick play. Yeah, they're not playing their heart out, but like, I mean, even if they're putting 50%, that's still pretty dang good for me. That's still really cool. And then going
Mm-hmm.
back and then losing to a silver tank, I'm like, what is my hands doing? Like, like why am I going from here, like where I feel like I hit every single knife, I hit every single shot, to I can't hit a knife
Mm-hmm.
even if a gun was pointed at my head.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I
you
don't.
just Yeah. Continue.
I feel like that's probably the same as the I have multiple things to focus on type situation. But yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of the situation where when when we're dealing with consistency, yeah, like just recognizing it. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna create this here. Okay, so when you're dealing with this, dealing with inconsistency, remember the graph I just drew in our first session? The graph where I just explained how this all of this works. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is kind of to just remind us. This is the graph. Yeah, usually trying to be your boss, obviously, try to play the games. But at the end of the day, when you practice, your graph, it always looks like this. It's just
Yeah.
time and value here. You eventually. Oh, so yeah. Let's put it this way. One day your value is gonna be really high. Another day your value is gonna be low. But it depends on the day, and it's just the question, what do you do here to exactly kind of narrow down this, yeah, like make sure you when you have this off day you
Hmm.
recognize it, or maybe when you have the good day you can also maybe recognize it, kind of put
Hmm.
something into practice, maybe practice a little bit more as well.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
where it's like my graph is way more wavy than this.
yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be. It's just common. It common. It can be, right? So it's okay though. The thing
Mhm,
is, with every player, even though you rank one, you're still gonna have this graph. It's just the thing is your skill ceiling. Like for example, here this is the skill ceiling of the maybe Plat player, and here's the skill ceiling of somebody from GM. Well, of course, the skill ceiling of GM, it's always allows him to beat Plat one players, even
mhm,
though they have bad days. For us, it's just important to recognize what do you do when you get this bad day there. Yeah,
mhm.
what you can do. What do you think potentially?
One of the things I just kind of, it's like it's kind of sucks because it's like the only real method I have is just getting off for the day, And it's like, man, I really want to play Overwatch, but I can't play it because I can't function.
Hmm.
I can't hit anything. Even quick play makes it feels like I'm just I'm like today. I was like, I've played a couple of quick play games last night and today, and it's like I feel like I'm like it's nothing's working, And it's because I probably took a little bit of a hiatus and stuff like that, but it still feels like nothing's working, right? And feel like I'm at a low point, and it's like the best thing
Hmm.
I can do is just not play because it's like what else can I do?
Right. So you taking this kind of long breaks, just don't do not play the entire day,
Mm,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Well,
But I feel like that's like inhibit. It's like a snowball effect of like, oh, I can't play today, so I'll try tomorrow. Try tomorrow, still nothing. Okay, then I get off, and then it's like, okay, what happens after 3 days? Then I'm just getting rusty at that point.
right, right. I think it's just still it's important to see what's your goal setting there. Yeah, like when you have this off day, are you able to get something positive out of it anyway? Like, is that time which you can use to practice XYZ potentially?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe yeah, that's the situation of like, as of right now, I don't have any XYZ to practice on,
Yeah,
so it's more
yeah,
of like I'm not getting any value out of those days. Like
right.
even on my bad days, I'm getting the only thing I'm getting is less time in the game. I'm just like, well, I can't
Hmm.
play because I literally can't function. My hands aren't
Exactly.
functioning, so yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. Okay, so you
I
can
can't
you
even
can
like.
do this.
I was hoping to
Hmm.
find a way to like train my aim even just so I can have like if I can't do that, I'll
Hmm.
just sit in a custom game and practice my aim for an
Hmm.
hour, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So this is another topic. Yeah, we can also go with that. Just writing down warm up. Okay. And yeah, so you're trying to practice XYZ, taking breaks. Actually, this one, the most common thing I suggest, usually whenever so it's gonna be more of a like discipline thing you do. Yeah, it's not just you do it just because, but maybe like because you recognize, there's a certain pattern I see. Maybe you lose two three losses. Yeah, maybe you get those. Maybe take 15 minutes break, for example. Just try to do something else. Usually you can maybe even go outside. Yeah, like be not in the same workspace where you play Overwatch. This is really useful because you're resetting your mindset completely. So it's this, and also obviously taking breaks after big amount of hours. Just when you play a lot, yeah, like when you played kind of enough hours maybe. I don't know how.
Yeah.
What do you think, how long you can stay focused on the game? Like what is the amount of
Oh,
hours?
uh,
Hmm.
it depends really. I mean,
On average maybe.
usually like
Hmm.
2 to 4 hours probably, give or
Hmm.
take. I,
Yeah.
I can I like usually take especially on my good days, man. I can keep going and going. Usually there's some days where I know I know have had a good day and I can play for 8 hours. I can just keep going and going and going. And then it's not really my mind that gives up on me. It's my own arm because like my arm gets exhausted and stuff like that. And I start realizing my aim's starting to
Hmm.
get off.
Yeah.
I'm playing correctly and I'm just rolling and stuff like that, but my aim's not working. That's when
Hmm.
I know when to get off. Usually, is when
Hmm.
in my endurance, my arm gives out.
Mm. Hmm.
So I,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I
Hmm.
do genuinely love Overwatch. So
Yeah.
it's something that like when I'm into it, I'm having a blast. I can play it for hours.
Maybe it's still something to pay attention to. Yeah, maybe using habits like using break is not like a way to specifically just stop playing Overwatch or like yeah completely get Overwatch, but maybe implement it in your practice so your arm, like your aim, will still feel okay in the long term. Like let's say, okay, as opposed to playing 2 4 hours just entirely, yeah, sitting there like do all the same. What if you can do 1 hour of practice, for example, and then do a little bit, just taking a break, just slightly, refresh your mind, but then go back in, and the learn some is gonna be better. That's what I want to think you about. Yeah, maybe this
Okay.
is gonna work better. Yeah, you might try
Okay.
this. It's just the question is what is the number? Yeah, like maybe it's uh 2 3 hours when you get play, or maybe just like 1 hour you play and then take a break. It's just here's the question: what is the amount of hours? I think commonly on average maybe every hour, maybe every hour and a half, take a break and then
Mhm.
go back in the game. It's just same as weird analogy, but let's say
Yeah.
there's a woodcutter. They have the it's like common thing, yeah. Like somebody's cutting the trees. They have their own axe, and the one woodcutter is just constantly cutting the trees with his axe, and there's another one who is cutting a little bit, but then they sharp. They polish the axe a little, so it's
Oh, I
gonna.
see what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of similar thing. It's just
Okay.
all like in a gym. Between every exercise, you take a little bit of a break. If you just constantly
Yeah.
exercise, what's gonna happen? Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. You're
uh,
gonna get worn out.
yes, this is the similar thing. The similar thing here.
Yeah.
Find the time though, 1 hour maybe. Yeah, so
Okay.
you
I
can.
think that makes sense to take the 15-minute break because like in high elos, you naturally get the 15-minute break because your queue times are so long. But for me, it's like my queue times are fairly quick, so I don't actually get that type of break.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I see.
Exactly, exactly. This is really important. Okay, so this is
Okay.
how you can deal with this inconsistency. Is there anything else what
Uh,
comes to mind? Or
for mentality, and not immediately, no.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
let's.
and I think
Mm-hmm.
I think just playing it. I guess getting a lower rank than like accepting. I know the fact that I'm not a high rank, right? But knowing the fact that like you know getting like you watch a lot of streamers and stuff like that, like even like seeing you and stuff like that. It's like, man, I don't want to be like have to go up to you and be like, yeah, I got gold, and you're like, okay, it's like I don't want to say that, you know.
No, well, this is alright. Like this is any achievement. Like again, you can measure it not by like getting the rank, but just by getting better at certain skill, like better getting the XYZ. What I'm asking these students is, are you doing better at XYZ? Even though they tell me, I'm masters. Oh, are you doing better than this and that as well? Yeah, like it's or
Yeah,
like what helped you exactly? What kind of concepts you applied? This is what's interesting. No,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I think this is quite a lot we mentioned. So it's just about dealing with anxiety. So kind of break it down. Dealing with multiple events. Using to relief practice. When getting flamed, you also remove the focus from the game this way. That's why I need to disable the voice chat. Deal with consistency. Taking breaks is a big thing as well. So kind of three things. Yeah, it's just like the voice
Yeah.
chat, interview practice, taking breaks. I'm gonna screenshot this and send it in the document as
Okay.
well. You're gonna have all the notes. But for now, I think it might be enough. What do you think? Can you try to apply this for the next time? See how it goes?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I want to because I don't remember when I set my next session. I think it's next week sometime. I
It's
think. Is it
Friday. It's Friday.
next
Oh no,
Friday?
it's not Friday. It's Thursday. Yeah.
Next Thursday? Okay.
It's
Okay.
not the next, but this Thursday actually, from what I see. We can potentially schedule it actually if you're not gonna get
Oh,
enough time
this.
of practice, but up to you.
Oh, I think I should. This. If it's on the 14th, I that should be perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
It is.
Yeah, I should have some.
Okay.
The just this week was just kind of crazy. Next week I should have more time to get some more. I want to get place. I'm gonna try to get past the anxiety and get my placements done so I can be like, this is my rank. These are some games. I'm gonna save every single one of them. You can pick the ones that you want, and you can go from there. That's my goal at least. Try to get at least 6 games of comp in.
Yeah, yeah. I think let's do that. I have actually an article as well, like just in case there's like an additional article about the anxiety, how to deal with that. Maybe read through that as well potentially. Might be helpful. I send you the link right there.
Okay.
Just if there are gonna be any events which you see like occurring to you, which I mentioned in the article, see maybe some of this gonna help. But we can also address this in a live session later potentially. I
Mm.
think. Sounds good?
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now, let's
Yeah.
just maybe focus on all of this. What do you need to work on? Yeah, finally we got to this part. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do
Hey,
that.
we had to get through all the other stuff first, so it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
total
yeah.
sense.
This is really important, I think. The mindset. We'll be getting on that in the next lesson too,
Yeah.
trust me. Probably. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not as
And
long, but
yeah, that's okay. And keep an eye on my aim. This is
Hmm,
probably I don't remember if this game had good aim or bad aim,
sure.
but I want to see like in your eyes if my aim's good, bad, and be brutally honest. I don't need sugarcoating. If you're like, yeah, your aim's dog shit, just tell me. I'm like, okay, how do I improve it? That
Yeah,
it's like I don't want to be sugarcoated. I want to know
yeah.
brutal honesty of what I need to be fixed.
Brutal
Uh,
honesty.
kind,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure,
That's the
sure,
thing
sure.
though.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, this is okay.
Look down on me like I'm a peasant little tank I am.
First of all, I would share the common warm up. This is what we're gonna be doing because we have the those long term lessons potentially at the next lesson as well. Try to do this. Go in this one custom game. You
Hmm.
create press create. Go on settings and then here you can import the code. It's called Vaxta. I'm gonna leave this code in the summary as well. So warm up Vaxta. It looks like this. You click on that. You go name
So you
training.
click
Yeah, and
create.
then you click start and you can choose the hero you want to practice. If it's Junkerqueen, choose Junkerqueen. Maybe if it's another hero, practice that hero. But what it does here, You can maybe watch me. You can do it later potentially, but it's just like see what's the importance of this. I think is
Oh, I think
Mhm.
I actually might have that one.
Yeah, you might. This is good. It's just importance of making sure you do a little bit of this practice, just 15 to 20 minutes. 15 minutes is enough on average, I think. Try to aim at the targets, but it's not just constantly shooting all the time. See, with the Morse character, especially in your case, Junkerqueen, because you have a lot of burst potential, you have to
Yeah.
only shoot when your crosshair is right on the target. Ideally, when you can hit this most the best shot. So it's not just like holding your primary fire like most players do. You try to click. So I'm clicking on the live fever, clicking again. You readjust my crosshair, clicking again. Yeah, maybe you're gonna spend the time to just adjust, to adjust your crosshair, but it's fine. Once you do it more and more, you will notice how you will build up the speed. So later you're gonna be doing it much more consistently. And here, the movement is pretty random, so it's gonna be pretty good to, I think, try to practice this, what I call trigger discipline.
So, yeah, I've never been a holder. I've always been a clicker for Junkerqueen, so I
Nice.
think my thing has always, I've never been, mine is a, I guess, could I show you my aim? It's just
we'll look into that. I just want to see,
Okay,
like, so you do this practice no matter what. Yeah, like, so it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, like this so
Okay.
far, it makes sense, yeah?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So this is Waxter. You can do this, little bit of this, and there's also one more thing which you can do, because at Waxter, people are not actually shooting you back. This is one of the big disadvantages. Why most people might be also nervous, so like maybe you also might get certain anxieties because you not getting used to situations where you're under pressure. So how you can solve it is through going through FFA, or just doing the deathmatch. FFA, I think, is a much better solution because you practicing versus just 11 players. Like here, Junkerqueen, go Junkerqueen, and practice hitting all these players, basically, trigger discipline. And those people, because they shoot you back, you will try to deal with that as well on the map. You also have your abilities, your shift, your axe, whatever, the knife.
Okay.
You can practice it here. I think it's even better environment. So maybe, let's put it this way, if you don't have tryhard FFA, let's do Waxter. Yeah, if you do have tryhard FFA, let's do tryhard FFA. Yeah, so it's kind of like
I do have that, yeah.
Okay. So it's just this. Yeah, go in a custom game and do a little bit of 15 minutes. This is enough before your game session. Just this is what I recommend for most players. And now let's look into your gameplay. Actually, it doesn't matter to me like what your aim looks like. You still can do this. Practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good. For specifics, we'll see. I think most of your aim is, first of all, not the mechanics. It's just how you position and what are your decisions most of the time. Especially on the tank, it's more important. So probably look into this first. But yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're starting out. Because there's been a topic, something you pointed out, your positioning. What's your general mindset behind it? What are you looking to do in terms of your positioning on this map?
So I'm Junkerqueen, so
Yeah, of
my
course.
my sight line, and so when I play Junkerqueen, and my mindset for positioning is, where can I know high ground is always advantageous, right? But
Right.
and so my mentality is, since I can force high ground with Junkerqueen, but I can't really keep it very well, or I can't utilize it very well as Junkerqueen, right? Like I can hook someone, but what good is that going to do me? So I try to like play where sight lines against that, and basically try to hook people off high ground, because I can't really keep it, because I can push it with my team, but granted they didn't communicate it here, which they ended up going for. But
Okay.
it's like it's like that middle ground of like, okay, do I push high ground even though I don't need it? My team can't, as you can tell, my team Bastion's the only one that can kind of utilize it. So it's like, it's like who.
Now,
Go ahead.
now my question is, so this is a good point you bring, yeah, like,
Or not Bastion, it was
yeah,
Junkrat is the only one. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Like your team, maybe they're not gonna use this, or they might use this. Yeah, like the thing is, use the tank. Most of your mindset is just gonna be, am I dealing with important positions of the map? Am I taking the important space and kind of letting my team to potentially set up there? If they do, really good. If they don't, what's in that case? In that case, well, can you take advantage of this position? Is that more advantageous, maybe compared to where you are now at B?
I mean, and that's where I'm like sitting here, like, well, they both have their positives and negatives for me. Because like right now, where I'm sitting is I have the sight line to our right, and I also can I can pull people that are going to try to go around the top area where the A is underneath. I was hoping to. That's what you see me facing, and I was kind of playing that L shape where it's like I could go for in front of them or playing on that left side because then I can kind of push them if they try to, you know, try to take high ground or try to go around that side to my team because I didn't know if Junkerqueen's going to shout across or something like that.
Okay, let's put it this way. When you're looking to control the point, okay, so it's this. What are
Mhm.
positions are more important to control the start of the fight, which gives more advantage when you're
I
trying
guess
to shoot the objective?
I guess high ground would be the main
Yes.
one. Then yeah.
Yeah, so this is how you look at it most of the time. Okay, you want to control the positions. I call those power positions, which are giving you more options on what to do towards the objective. So here, you have the option to stay on objective. Well, maybe you can pull some people off the high ground here and there as well in the middle. Maybe somebody goes to the right as well, sure. But this position, potentially, you can do all of these things together because you can drop at any point of time on the point anyway. But
Mhm.
you also have better sightlines and you can potentially control. So this is kind of, you can maybe drop from A this way. You can also go this way. It's like faster in a way. And you can also maybe go there as well, go over the fence, even if you like. It's just those positions, power positions, allows you to set up multiple angles of attack. Here, the power position, I think it's kind of this one and this one in the middle, if you can get it. So
Yeah.
those are positions you're fighting for. Power positions where you're able to set up multiple angles of attack. And the question is, obviously, can your team use this? If yes, perfect. Maybe they're using it perfect. If not, then you are the one using it to your advantage. Yeah, let's say I'm here, you would be at this high ground right away. You could maybe see this fire mercy right away, maybe even a
That
fight
would probably
invasion
that probably
faster.
would have forced me off there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just they send resources to you. Obviously, they're gonna fight those positions as well. But yeah, at least you like these positions you're enabling your own play from here where you are. It's like more difficult to do. Yes, sure, we're trying to like do something there with your team as well. But the thing is, you also have the sidelines on your team, which is good. This is what you want to look for.
Yeah.
Make sure you
And my
fight.
team kind of sat back here too, which was I just realized is like all three of my teammates are kind of just sandwiched together, which
Yeah.
is not a bad thing. But should I have stayed with them instead of go straight to point and try to take that space?
No. As I mentioned, you should take power positions. Okay, this is the one concept. Yeah. The second one, you should play within your team's range. Well, within your team's sidelines. Okay. So you want
Mhm.
to use this high ground. Now, just think how you do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. You see, like
Mhm.
if I'm here, can my team help me?
No,
Like, no. What if you're here? Can your team help you from
kind
here?
of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I think they totally do. Like the Mercy, the Fire, they can send resources. Even BAP, it just that gives them like 1 extra second to peek out, but they can. This is how
Mhm.
you do that. You fight for power
Mhm.
positions where your team can be active, for example.
Yeah.
So this is what you're aiming to do because you think you're taking valuable space. This is the one important point. Okay, let's see. Because this what potentially might lose you the fight, especially the highest SAR. This guy's taking high ground, just
Yeah.
big extra advantage because of it, and instantly might influence this point cap. Yeah, it's just gonna be really difficult for you guys to do anything. I think just fighting for these valuable spots and also pulling people in with your knife, doing all of this. But now we just see like this, we're kind of sitting there. Yeah, you just not.
Yeah, this is where I'm like sitting here like I don't like this is where the anxiety kicks in. I'm like I don't know where I'm
what to
like
do, yeah.
I know I'm supposed to be playing with my team, but like it's like trying to like it's like I don't have a lasso on them, so it's like okay, we're all gonna play right here, I guess. Like it's like I don't know what to do here.
Right.
Like if I walk up to them right now and try to like without communication, how do I combat?
Yeah, you don't
high ground, you know?
come. Yeah, you don't come. You just fight within the sidelines of your team, basically.
Yeah, it's like how do I fight for that if I can't communicate with them? You know?
Yeah. So, do you see how we can do that? Just again, if we hear, yeah, you see how.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is hook the Bastion off. Is the only thing.
Yeah, but could you shoot the Bastion if you hear as well? And your team, are they able to help you? Yes, totally. So,
yeah,
is it okay? Yeah, could you do
yeah.
that? Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
this is how you think, yeah? You want most of your resources, so as a Junkerqueen, you short melee range tank now, we simply do not use any, while most of your resources are not being used. You know what's been only used so far? Like a lot? Not a lot, but like, could be used effectively, is your knife. But you're the melee tank, so you need to get closer with something. So we mentioned power positions, fight there. Utilize your team's sidelines. This is gonna be much better. You shoot the Bastion, you can axe the Bastion. It's just why we're fighting this, because we always identify, yeah, let's say you're stuck here for some reason, well, happens. Now again, you still can identify it. This goes about target priority, okay? Whenever you're fighting the enemy, you fight what is more dangerous on the map, so you can absorb that pressure, maybe disable that pressure. Now, what is the angle which is more dangerous on the enemy team?
The Bastions.
So the Bastions, right? And this is what you can potentially hook off. This is what you need to close the gap with. Well, it could be, you could be closing the gap with that if you could take that power position in the first place. That's why the setup is important first. Like this is what you need to go over first and during every fight. Right? This fight is already lost to me because of just where we are. The enemy, they can take all the angles, and we've been not able to use our resources before, like most of the time. Let's put it this way. Yeah, you just want to enable your play, as I mentioned. It was your position first, and then second, see if your team can actively take space in area where you are being active. Yeah. Yeah. So like this is fine, maybe like to control the point at the end. It just shouldn't be the priority. The priority is to see how you can control valuable positions which allow you to control the point. So take high grounds, take all of those good positions. Fight there first, and then drop the point. Yeah, here again the same thing. You're gonna be identifying how do I fight for power positions, and what is that maybe risky angle I can deal with. Yeah, so this is target priority. Yeah? But let's see. So you go in, okay? This is something you're trying to hook, so this is the Bastion. Okay, maybe you don't have time to take the high ground, but what do you think? Is it kind of the sweating angle versus your team? Is it something you can potentially shoot with your knife? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty advantageous, and I was trying to rotate around here to basically give myself a little bit better angle on
them. Right, but do you see, it has to be consistent as well. It's gonna just find this best time when you can throw the knife. So it's just, for example, now when you're trying to pull this in, yeah, like or like throw right away, making sure you get the advantage of it. Yeah, let's say the Bastion is gonna be like a little bit closer. Yeah, for some reason you stick the knife. Yeah, I don't care about the aim there, Barrett. Like if you hit it or not. It's just what if you pull this Bastion in? Can you actively do something versus him at this position?
With shout, yes, but that's putting more resources into. But I don't think I would have been able to kill him.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So you see how using the knife here might be difficult in this case. Yeah. You see, you need to focus on setting up first before using your knife. Right. So you enable your plays, most of the plays coming from the short range. Where should you be in the first place then before using the knife?
Then on where I threw it the second time, it was on the left side.
Yeah, I think so. Just getting a little bit closer. Yeah, closer sidelines. This fight versus the important sideline here. Sure. So the knife, pull this in. You can shoot and potentially axe this. If you used the knife before, it might be the good play, but it's only good we can go over that later as well. It's just only usually good if you're farming ult charge, if you're confident. You're not gonna need it later. And here you do. You actually could have the knife now and pull this Bastion in totally. You see what I'm saying? It's just not off cooldown.
The Bastion or the
Maybe even Moira. Yeah, maybe even Moira at this point because the situation changed. But it's just the point is stand still. Yeah, you could be using the knife now and it would be more usable, right? It's just your position enables yourself to do more. Yeah, let's say maybe I'm using the knife here, forcing out something, forcing out.
So the positioning I had here was good. It was just that I used my resources a bit too vicariously at the beginning there.
Yeah, our point is just set up first, use resources second. Yeah, here you sometimes don't have some, as we saw in the first fight, maybe you're not setting up in the best way. Yeah, like, or here you just also not using your resources at the right time. You need to set up, just get a best position and throw probably the knife later. Yeah.
I think I do hit him here.
Yeah, this is better. So this is much better. Yeah, you deal with the important angle. You see, this is impactful. Nice. Okay, the aim we're asking for. I think honestly, there's no problem with aim. It's like the same thing as with about communication. You need to focus on what needs to the most work. I think the aim for you with this aim you can get towards the what is the rank, like diamond, even masters, to be honest. You don't see like, yeah, you don't need like much more crazier aim, to be honest. It's not about that. It's just about most of the decisions and positioning, it feels like. Of course you sometimes miss the knife. There's something you can address, I think, like, but most of it is just the decisions.
I think mine right here was a lot of anxiety.
Right. Yeah, hopefully this start
right here on my hand. I think this is the part where I was like, okay, yeah, I got her that time. That part right there, I was like having an aneurysm because I was like, why can't I hit the last shot on that stinking Junkerqueen? But yeah.
By the way, something to like think about this anxiety. I just it came to mind. Whenever you're in the game, just when you have the moments like this, like I mentioned, you can take a breather, but this is have to be like in the game. Take the laziest breaths possible, like, let's put it this way, yeah? Take lazy breaths, because this way you, like, decrease your heart rate. Yeah, the way it works, we just breathe slowly, decrease your heart rate, it's gonna be much better under circumstances. And this is the only thing you can kind of do during the game anyway. You cannot do anything else like meditation or other stuff, but just slowly inhale. Inhale, exhale, really the slowest you can, like the laziest for you. I think do that. Yeah. Okay, I'll see your position next time. Okay, so this is this kind of similar thing, but this is at the end of the fight, so it's like not as bad to use the knife here. Okay, we can wait for the actual fight to be happening, and again the same thing. You want to start with the position, think where it's the most valuable for you to be, so able to apply pressure. Well, let's see what you do. You're gonna use the ultimate? Oh, okay, the fire just
just fed there. That's just slow. That's a slow yellow there. I don't want to. I want to ignore the discrepancies right there. Right. There's my ult.
So you did set up for your ultimate there, yeah? That's that was the play, yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to kind of work towards my ult there, yeah.
Sure, makes sense. Okay. Let's see what happens next.
I play very carefully.
Right.
That's another thing. If you go back a little bit, my shout usage is like I use my shout and I get like here. I use my shout because I'm like, oh yeah, I can go in, right? And then I'm like, right here, I'm like, oh, and I see the whole team, like, oh, never mind, and I run away.
Yeah.
Like, should I have not used my shout there, or was like because I was starting to get a little aggressive there. That's where I kind of start like getting a little narrow-minded. I think. It's just because I'm like, I get bloodthirsty because I'm like, once I start getting kills, especially when I use my blood pressure goes up the roof, and I'm out for blood when I play Junkerqueen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I love her so much, is because you should see almost encourages that type of play style of like the domino effect of kills. And this is where I kind of realized like, oh, maybe I should stop. Was that a good play idea for like kind of stepping back there, or should I have
Mm-hmm.
accepted that my far was with me and kind of going in a little bit further there?
So
Positioning wise, I wouldn't have been able to get any help, but I don't know.
yes, yes, exactly. This goes back to timing. Yeah, when what we discussed so far was what we just mentioned. How far you can go, like
Mhm.
how far you can fight at for any position. What it depends on. Let's put it this way. Yeah,
Mhm.
like remember
Yeah.
this point of time where you've been fighting here. Yeah, I was saying, oh, you can go that far because your team cannot be with you this location. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. So.
one of the things as well, kind of similar things here. You have to scout and see if your most of the team are they ready to fight with you. If yes, then you fight. Yeah, so you kind of question this. My team, can my team be active?
Mhm.
Okay, yes, then you go.
Okay.
And you just want to scout kind of most of the time for now, see if most of your team can do something. Okay, this is gonna be good
Mhm.
enough to use the shout. Now it's you see that it's a little bit early, but what would be the appropriate time to use your shout? Maybe yeah, and what location the enemy would need it to be before using the shout.
I think I think when I did my rotation, because I don't remember if I rotated around, but maybe when I pushed in a little bit further,
Right,
maybe.
right, right, exactly. Yes, through the gates, probably even getting in this area. It's kind of this entire red area. Once they're there, most of your team they have sightlines on what is happening in this area, and you fight. Yeah, this is
Mhm.
kind of common thing you should be looking for now. My team is ready. Let's fight. This is good. The question is, how do you scout that? It's just pretty simple. Before each time you pressure, you have to look around when you're actively about to commit your cooldown, especially. Yeah, look around to check. My team is ready. If yes, I go in. If not, then I stay. And you might
Mhm.
notice how you might lose some of the value because you're really slow at recognizing where your team is. But this is better to start as slow and good, and then later you can build up the speed. For now, just do
Mhm.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You yeah look around before engagement. So I'm just gonna mention specifically when you use CDs, and then decide. Yeah, go in or not. Yeah, decide if you can go in or not. Okay, this is one thing. This can be an exception as well. I usually say this: whenever you're confident you can get a kill without yourself getting killed, you can also go in. And this is where you
Okay.
don't need your team. Let's say you're here by yourself fighting enemy Moira, who just used her fate, for example, or maybe Bastion, who is low. You can totally do that if you can get a kill, but
Mhm.
you're not getting yourself killed, fight as well. So just, let's
Okay.
put it this way, yeah? Fight anyone, um, killable targets, fight whenever. Yeah, like, if you
Yeah.
can get a kill, if you
For
can do
how
then.
how bloodthirsty I am, usually I will take those challenges most of the time. I'm pretty bloodthirsty when it comes to
Right.
playing tank. I'm not afraid to take on the one-on-ones unless it's like a fully healed bastion that has turret mode. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm running for the hills with my tail between my legs.
Yeah, so let's put it this way. So we're not gonna be going too deep. Then let's just say fight isolated targets. So you're not gonna be
Yeah.
going in too deep. Yeah, you fight isolated targets, or you're fighting multiple targets when most of your team is ready. To keep it simple, because this shout, as mentioned, it's not the best. Yeah, this is something I wanted to look later anyway. It's just I wanna see the patterns. And the next fight you will see probably as well. First thing, what's my timing? Second, am I fighting for valuable positions? Am I pushing valuable people here? Like even this I'd say like this knife there. Well, maybe. Is there anybody else to knife? Well, it seems like not. If it's not, maybe this is fine because this is more sweating angle to pull in. But again, am I doing it at the right time when my team can be active? Well,
Yeah.
this seems like okay-ish. Just keep in mind, like you don't have to over overpush. Yeah, like whatever happens, just don't overpush in the out of your team sidelines. I think this is looks okay so far. You should be killing her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is where the next fight happens. And actually, okay, this is the exact fight we wanted to review. Yeah, I think it's gonna be our last one, but it's fine. Okay, so you see this. You're fighting for Moira versus Moira. I mean, okay, you go
Yeah,
back.
that's where my aim. I kind of go back to point here because I was like,
Yeah, exactly. You see, this is exactly the point where once you got this Bastion kill, if you're consistent and at thinking about just, I'm fighting in areas where most of my team can be active, then you're like, can you
I should.
fight like right there potentially? Yeah, like what do you think?
Oh yeah. I should have. just since I had my shout. I got scared because I was got low health because it takes me a long time to regen my health. Even with both healers at that point pocketing me, I knew that I needed to step back a little bit so I could get healed up so I could go back in. But I
Yep.
rotated instead of just going back in.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, whenever you get your house force as well, it's just really important to also make sure you lean towards the cover first. It's just the question is because you want to enable your play, as I mentioned, yeah. Fight short range, really get as close as you can with your positioning. Then where could you set up? Yeah, so like of course we're afraid of like getting pressured as much, but you cannot use the distance as an excuse. Yeah? You still need to this distance you can't do anything. You want to put yourself in a place where you're safe, but you're also comfortable like closing the gap. Where that would be after you use the shot, where could you go towards? What corner?
Work the corner. I would have played. I should have played that pillar in the center there.
Yeah, pillar
Maybe.
and center. Maybe this one as well, the starter to just start it with,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah,
rotate.
because then I could have
Yeah.
rotated around. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also rotate around here. Exactly. So
Yeah.
but see, this is our pattern. Yeah, you need to constantly think, use short range corners. This is about your position. Enable your play, like setup, pressure second, fight for power positions. Yeah, all of that together. But it's just at this point, yeah, it's gonna be harder to close the gap. First, second, you've been not fighting in an area where most of your team could be active. So here, now the fight changed, obviously, like the fight goes there. But this is where it's like domino effect, like you mentioned. One mistake might lead to the situation where your team is
like
consistently
right
getting
here.
pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, like soon I like two of them were low and I just couldn't hit my shots and I could have easily turned the tide here if I could just aim. you know.
Mm, this is well.
I think up right here.
You
Or
just
right.
really far. That's it. Like you can't aim at this distance. Like you do not do any reasonable
I
damage.
move up though. If you keep playing, I move up and
Yeah,
both
well.
I think the Farah and the Mercy were super low and I just could, and so was her. I just could not hit my shots. I felt like I could have turned the tide there if I could have hit my shots.
Yeah, but as as I mentioned, like it's just to me it's a consequence because like now they actually see you. You coming from really far as well, like from here to here. You rotate from not short range angle. They can easily see you. Yeah, but what have you done this rotation like short range? Get as close as you can, enable your play, and then it's gonna be harder for them to see you. You pressure them earlier, so later you not feel so rushed. Like now it feels rushed. You have to like go in, hit. But what if you're being patient, but also safe, set up the best shots? You just only require 1-2 shots, good shots, to like get them low, right? But now you just shoot here, shoot there, shoot, and then it just what's happening way too late. Is what I'm saying because your position it didn't allow you to. Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is not bad aim to me. It's just like you here trying to compensate because you had bad positioning, you're trying to compensate it with mechanics. Like
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is fine though. This shots, well, of course, mechanically to get discipline could be helpful. Still pretty challenging to hit the flyers in general too. So that makes sense. Yeah, this is what I would do for now. Obviously, well, we're not too much into the review, but we mentioned a lot of fundamental stuff. Trust me, this is always like that. When there's a first lesson, we got a bunch of fundamental things going, and later we can look into more details, obviously. But for now, what are the concepts we can work on with you potentially? Yeah, what are the concepts we just can apply for the next time? What do you think?
Short line. Short length corners. I think is one that you mentioned. I think looking at my team seeing where they're at, seeing if they can be active
Mm-hmm.
in the situations that I am.
Right.
Um,
What other positions you
then
should be fighting for?
oh, and then power positions. Yes, power
Mm-hmm.
positions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely can work on those three things. Definitely, those are very simple and
Yes. So let's do that first. Yeah. You timing with the timing. You can be active when most of your team is active. You
yeah,
look around, or if you can get a kill, you fight whenever. So this is the
yeah.
one. You, with your position, also really focus on making sure you enable your play first, setup first, and pressure second. Okay, so you're not shooting right away. It's not about mechanics hitting shots. First of all, get the best position possible. Let's do that, yeah?
Gotcha.
Short range angles, power positions. I
So
think Mhm.
even as Junkerqueen, I should always hold high ground for as long as I can.
You're not exactly holding. Think about it like you got power position. Now you can use it to your advantage and leverage it. Something we mentioned, like what angles you should be going towards. It's just target priority. Think what is that dangerous angle you're dealing with, and then most of your kit of the Junkerqueen is about to just close the gap and fight people up close. So
Yep.
basically, if you're here, you see, oh, the most dangerous angle. What I can deal with? Maybe somebody's taking high gun. Okay, I can deal with them. Maybe once you dealt with them later, you can also drop if you're confident. Oh, it seems like my team can get a kill now because they're all taking the high gun with me. I can just close the gap and shoot. Yeah, it's not about you hold in here. It's just you take the space, confirm the space. Your team can set up or not. At least you set up yourself, but then later you fight and leverage. It's always about that.
Okay.
We'll go more about that, actually. It's just really important concept there. How do you take control and use the position?
Leverage that space.
Yeah, for now we just got to this part where you like taking, but this is fun. Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah,
Okay.
you can leverage that as well.
First, learn
We'll
to
look
take the
into that.
space and then take advantage of it and leverage it
Right.
later.
Exactly. I'm just mentioning the notes. Power positions, take control, use. Yeah, we'll go with that. Those 3 steps later, and also we will go over corners usage. I think this is really important. I see you can improve that. Just I'll explain a few details on how you can get better at it. So yeah, it's
Oh.
gonna be the one. And I will use the examples as well, just to give, because we didn't have enough time to like showcase exactly examples from the maybe pro player or something. But I will do that later, and you're also gonna do live session to see how you're implementing all of this. I think we should have
Okay.
enough time.
Live session next time. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want it in a competitive live session? Okay.
Sure. If you're gonna be comfortable, I think let's do competitive. Not, we can also do quick play, but yeah, we're still trying to form a habit where we're trying to get more and more comfortable with competitive. Yeah, this is gonna be important.
Yeah. So I mean, if push comes to shove, we can do quick play. Cause like maybe like I'm like 1 rank away from bronze, and maybe my pride will not allow me to do it, but we'll see. I don't think I'm gonna get bronze, but
Yeah, honestly, rank again, as I mentioned, doesn't matter. You can be any rank to me. Is just I want to see how you apply the concepts. If you're able to apply them most of the games, that's good to me. And honestly, if you're able to, it's inevitable you climb up. So this is how it works.
Yeah, it's more of like a mentality thing of like I didn't want to go into competitive and be like, okay, I'm going competitive, and like have all these really bad habits and being and not having the right mentality of like, okay, what am I actually looking for in in competitive? Because quick play, I'm like, let's go have fun, and now I'm like, I want to win and actually get better at this game. How do I do that? So I didn't really have anything to base it off of. But with the things I have, at least I have something to work towards on comp.
Exactly.
So I'll definitely be playing it more now that I have something to work towards.
Yes. Yeah.
Because originally it was like get better at the game, and then my step 2 was how.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I can help for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be helping
Okay.
along the way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then then I will see you next Thursday, and hopefully